Now I will be discussing single minute exchange of dye or SMED. So SMED is one of the tools in Lean used to reduce the amount of time it takes to change from running one process in an operation to running another. So this is the fast changing of a process so that it can go from making one product to making another. At dahil mabilis nga ang pag-process, there's a high chance to help reduce cost and increase flexibility within a process. So it facilitates smooth and one-piece flow production. And according to its definition, SMED allows the process of trying to make changeovers as fast as possible. Single minute refers to the goal of reducing the changeover time to single-digit minutes. So from a maximum of 9 minutes down to 1. Pero hindi naman lahat ng mga process or pag-manufacture ay 9 minutes lang. So if 2 digits na, minsan kasi nasa hours din yun or days ang inaabot, SMED can reduce the time in less than 10 minutes. So this system usually used in manufacturing firms because in this system, mas napapabilis ang pagmamanufacture ng mga products na kailangan halimbawa ng iba't ibang sizes ng molde. This is also known as quick changeover. The next term is die, which refers to a tool used in manufacturing to form materials. Pero hindi lang sa manufacturing pwede ang SMED. Of course, the concept of SMED can apply to many work environments. So it can be in the fast food restaurants, offices, call centers, and any environment na pwede mapabilis ang mga gawain in a single minute or in less than 10 minutes, or those environments that have certain processes that need to happen before workers can perform their duties. SMED began in Japan at Toyota, wherein Shigeru Shingo is the one who developed this. So, a short story time lang, no? Back in 1950s, Shingo noticed an inefficient process at Toyota involving the body molding process. So much of the waste came from time spent switching over to new tools on pieces of equipment that were needed for different phases within the body molding process. So before, the changeover took between 2 to 8 hours, and apparently, naisip ni Shingo na makakapag-save ng money and time ang Toyota kung sana mas mabilis ang pag-change over ng mga molde sa paggawa ng iba't ibang piyesa ng cars. Thus, hence, SMED was born. And by the 1970s, the changeover time was just 3 minutes. See, from 2 to 8 hours of changeover, naging 3 minutes na lang siya. Imagine the time and effort and money na nakat. Sobrang laki. Ayan, so thank you kay SMED. So here is an outline of the steps that need to be taken to implement SMED. First, identify the process. So identify the area to focus for improving changeover times. So the situations must first the changeover is long enough where there is room for improvement. Next, there has historically been a lot of variance in the past in changeover times. Then, the operation is done frequently, simply because kung alin yung operations na madalas gamitin, yun din yung mas kumukuha ng time, effort, and money. Next, all employees involved in the changeover process have been trained, and of course, dapat they have buy-in for the change. Then, the process must be a bottleneck in the overall operation. So, changes will have immediate impact. Bottleneck meaning the workloads arrive too quickly for the production process to handle. Itong bottleneck na ito, isa siyang problem sa company. Second step is identify elements. So with a video or records, we can easily identify the area for improvement. Through videos na tinitake for every operations, each element will be captured, and there we will be able to quantify the amount of time it takes as well as the cost. Then, the process will be mapped out by each individual element. So those involving both human and machine activities. Third, separate external element. So in this step, all external elements of the operation should be separated. Then operations that can be done while the equipment or process is running can be accomplished before the actual changeover takes place. Then the fourth, convert internal to external. So any element that can be moved to external should now be moved. Those elements with the most potential impact on reducing time and cost are acted on first. For the final step, which is the streamline, uh, the internal elements should be simplified to take less time. So this also involved new equipment or modification of existing equipment to make changeovers run smoother and faster. So kung aling equipment yung nagpapabagal, palitan na or i-modify, at kung alin yung nagpapabilis sa operation, the company can use that. So in conclusion of applying these steps, operations will run faster while also producing quality products. Of course, quick changeover have many benefits for manufacturers, starting from reducing downtime associated with the changeover process to reducing the waste created during startup. So hindi lang yan yung mga advantages ni SMED, but here is the list. First, increases machine work rate. That eliminates setup errors while allowing trial runs to reduce defect rates. Because it can reduce setup times even if number of changeovers increases. Improved quality of products from fully regulated operating conditions in advance. Increased safety from simpler setups because mostly machines na ang gumagawa. So it is safer kaysa tao mismo ang gumawa with machines. Kumbaga, nakaantabay na lang si person kay machine. Simplified housekeeping from fewer tools and better organization. And stockless production drives a company's capital turnover rates. So, stockless, nauubos yung stocks natin kasi mas mabilis ang pag-produce. Mas maraming finished products ang nakikita and mas tataas din ang kita. Number 7, reduction in footprint of processes or yung amount of resources to produce goods ay mababawasan that will result to also reduce of inventory, thereby freeing workshop space. So makakapaglagay ulit ng panibagong inventory or stocks kasi nga laging ubos agad. So you see, the effects of applying SMED is connected. So in every movement na ginagawa ni SMED, merong makukuhang benefits. 8, productivity increases over time, of course. SMED lowers setup and other expense, and skill requirements are lower since changes are now designed into the process rather than a matter of skilled judgment. Na kay machine na yan, siya na ang bahala kasi nakaprogram naman na ang gagawin niya. So si person nakaantabay lang. Elimination of unusable stock from model changeovers and demand estimate errors. So dahil nga mabilis ang pag-product para ang ating production na nai-eliminate agad yung mga unusable stock. Kasi dun lang natin makikita yung mga unusable stocks na yan kapag nabawasan yung mga gagamitin, yung mga inventories. Goods are not lost through deterioration or maybe yung pagkasira kasi maaring matagal na nakastock or naluluma na yung stocks, hindi rin maganda ang goods na napoproduce. So, SMED eliminate that situation. Ability to mix production gives flexibility, further inventory reductions, and opening the door to revolutionize production methods. So, flexibility dahil habang ginagawa ang isang step, pwede siyang isabay sa ibang steps in operation. and reductions dahil nagagamit nga agad ang inventories o stocks, and the opening of the door. So, ito yung mas mabilis na production rate. So, to explain more, I will give you a real-life examples na ginagamitan ng SMED. So, the best example here, so aside from manufacturing industry, is the professional car racing. So, na-imagine nyo na ba ang part ni SMED sa car racing? So, in a car racing, the speed of a pit crews often can make the difference between winning and losing for race car drivers. So, kung nanonood kayo ng mga car racing, kahit si Lightning McQueen na lang, so every pit stop, nire-record pa nila kung gaano katagal nag-i-stay ang car sa pit lane. Na-video pa nila ang operation para ma-analyze kung paano pa mas mapapabilis halimbawa ang yung changing of tires, cleaning windshields, and ng pumping of the gas. So, here's the first example. Next example, in the restaurant industry. So, imagine a restaurant offers 3 menus in yung breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, changing from one to the other can take as long as an hour as kitchens prepare for different meals, tapos may mga shifts pa ng mga clerk. So, using SMED strategy, mapapabilis nila ang cooking, preparing, and serving like the other restaurants na nakakapag-offer pa ng 2 to 3 menus. So, alam naman natin na mahirap sa restaurant industry na magpabilis kahit saan kainan yan. Reklamo na nagda-dine in, wala pa si in-order. But then, may ibang restaurants pa din na kaya ma-cope up ang dami ng customers. Dahil gumagamit sila ng SMED strategy. So here's a chart that illustrates example areas of opportunity for SMED projects. So as you can see na lang dun sa chart, it gradually accelerates the progress or process that gives improvement, whether it is on technical and in human force. So here are the key takeaways for SMED. First, a single minute doesn't mean 1 minute, but it is the shortest and fastest time rate. So recording and videos are essential to monitor the time rate of production because it is for improvement. SMED can be applied in any work environment where certain processes can be happened before workers can perform their duties. SMED has a bunch of benefits where changeover times can be reduced, resulting to quick production that generates a large capital turnover rates. So that is all about the single minute exchange of die. And for my next topic, here is the second topic, the Pokayokai. So humans can't avoid making mistakes that can cause defective products in manufacturing industry or any industries or businesses. So the more the mistakes, the more ugly encounters are about to rise. So Pokayokai or Pokayoki is a mechanism used to eliminate errors. So its basic and principal function is the use of any automatic device or method that either makes it impossible for an error to occur or makes the error immediately obvious once it has occurred. So it wants to achieve zero defects. So the mistakes occur are those yung akala natin na maliit lang na problema. So in Japanese equivalent, this is pronounced as Pokayokai. Pero of course, pwede rin naman siyang i-pronounce as Pokayoki. So this is originally developed by Shigeo Shingo in the 1960s, who was one of the eye engineers at Toyota. Siyempre, in Japan. Ayan, napakaraming alam ni Shigeo Shingo. Good Pokayokai devices should be simple and inexpensive because they need to be cost-effective towards the process. This is also an integral part of the process where Shingo calls 100% inspection. Inspection kasi hinahanap mo nga yung mali. Ay. So this is also known as mistake proofing as a technique for avoiding simple human errors at work. Manufacturing defective products can be very costly because some customers will return a whole batch of parts if they find just one of them to be defective. Mistake proofing or pokayokai is based on 6 principles. So these are first the elimination, or we can say quote unquote don't do it anymore. So this is to eliminate the possibility of error by redesigning the product or process. So to do other ways para di na maulit yung maling process, that the task or part is no longer necessary. Second is the prevention or the statement, make sure it can never be done wrong. So how to do that? By designing and engineering the product or process so that it is impossible to make a mistake at all. Third is replacement or use something better. Better, ha? So, palitan na pag nasawa na. Ayan, joke lang. Palitan na ng mas kailangan, mas reliable, so that the process will improve consistently. Next is facilitation. Facilitation or make tasks easier to perform. Of course, it is ideal to use techniques and a combination of steps to work easier and perform very well. Sabi nga, work smarter. Fifth is detection or notice what is going wrong and stop it. Nakita naman na ang mali, huwag nang ulit-ulitin. Kung napansin na there's something wrong with the system, ayusin na kaysa itry pa at parang umaasa pa na baka okay pa din naman ang pagkaka-finished product. Huwag na umasa. Kapag may mali, huwag nang umasa na tama ang kalalabasan. Ayan. Last principle is mitigation or don't let the situation get too bad. So you are trying to minimize the effects of errors. Parang you are doing everything para magawa ng paraan in case something bad happened in the process. So the first four, elimination, prevention, replacement, and facilitation, this is to avoid the occurrence of mistakes, while the last two, the detection and mitigation, this is to minimize the effects of mistakes once they occur. So ito yung mga roles ng principles ng Pokayokai. Because human errors are nipped in the bud before they become bigger issues, where human errors are eliminated or reduced, here are the benefits of Pokayokai. So decreased setup time with associated reduction in production time and improved productivity. Elimination of setup errors and improved quality. Increased safety, lower cost of quality control, lower skill requirement, increased production flexibility, reduced inspection time, improved operator attitudes, increased customer satisfaction and loyalty. So I guess hindi na ito kailangan explain pa because these are actually self-explanatory. So to understand more, I will give you real life situations as an examples. First, the color coding of the wires. So, sometimes at home, magko-connect tayo ng minsan sa TV or DVD players or sa pag-ayos ng mga appliances, hindi pa rin may iwasan minsan na magka-error sa pag-connect ng mga wires which will cause an accident. So, to prevent that, merong color coding ang mga wires. Another example is sa parking. So, there are times na sobrang dami ng mga sasakyan sa bayan, kunwari. So, kagulo na ang mga sasakyan, unahan sa pag-park. So, to avoid accidents relating to parking, minor man yun o major, there are line marks para sundin ng mga drivers. In healthcare industry naman, where human error should be eliminated because it is sensitive. So for example, sa mga dentist, they provide wristbands as an identifier kung anong klaseng service ang kailangan ni patient, whether it is for cavity fill or cleaning. So sa mga rich na hospitals or clinic, may mga wristband sila, pero dito sa atin, mga papel lamang, pwede na yun. At least meron tayong identifier kung anong kailangan ni patient. Yan. So kung napapansin nyo, errors are everywhere, kaya naman po kayo can also apply kahit saang activities or environment. So here is the relationship of defects and human errors. So using the legend, yung black na square is strongly connected and yung white, yung connected. So let's plot their connections, the connections between human errors and causes of defect. So, here, ito yung mga common human errors na mostly na-encounter sa work. At ito naman yung mga causes of defects dahil sa human errors. So for example, not following procedures causes of defect. Yung human errors na madalas na nagbibigay ng naging rason nun, intentional error. Yan. Forgetfulness. Inadvertent error. Pag sinabing inadvertent error, these are mechanic or electronic or not intentional errors, yung mga hindi sinasadya. So, tingnan na lang natin kung gaano kadami yung mga black squares. So, ibig sabihin, ganyan kalaki, kadami yung mga human errors or yung mga magiging defects kapag nalapatan ng human errors ang work sa isang company, especially sa manufacturing products or sa manufacturing industry. Now, here are the key takeaways for the Pokayokai. So, Pokayokai or Pokayoki is originated at Japan from the IE engineer Shigeyo Shingo. Pokayoki can be applied in any environment. So, hindi lang sa business world, kahit sa sarili din natin. Lastly, the main use is to avoid and reduce mistakes or human errors. And that is all about Poka Yokai. Thank you guys for listening.